You know, it's been many years since I worked for newspapers, but all I shot back then was black and white. So this course has given me an opportunity to fall in love with black and white all over again. You know, what's amazing about it is it's like going to the moon in a way. I could look at everything I've shot in color up to this point and think, how would it look in black and white? It would look completely different, wouldn't it? And you know, the other wonderful thing is that black and white looks good in just about any light. That is so freeing and a chance to do things we would never dream of in color. All right, so let's call this lecture Light is Light in Black and White. What I mean by that is, I don't think black and white, when you're shooting in monochrome on your camera, I don't think it cares about the quality or the color of light as much as we think. You know, most of us walk around, we see in color, we shoot in color. When we go to black and white, it's an entirely different realm, and the same rules don't apply to us. So we have a little example right here that I think illustrates that pretty well. We have our three models, and they are each in a grid spot or a spot of light. They have varying intensities. We've got different patterns in these grids to tighten the beam and widen the beam. Okay, so they're standing there. And when I shoot this in color, I'm going to set this now. All right, when I shoot this in color, I'm going to first shoot with my flash on. These are all on flash heads. This is going to give me a pure white light. Here we go. Yep, looks fine, very kind of interesting. The grids are creating different shadows, but I'm looking at the color and quality of light. That looks like great light. White light source here, beaming down very intensely, lots of depth of field, right? 250th of a second, f14. Now I'm going to adjust this puppy, and I'm going to kick the flash off, and I'm going to crank the ISO way up from 200. Let's go to 2000 just for fun. Stick it at f14, and we're going to slow the shutter down to get it. We're going to slow the shutter down to 100th of a second, and all right. So this is in color now, in color. With the flashes, very white. With the modeling lights, just this weak light that we use just to focus with, very warm, tungsten source. Very, very drastically different in how they appear. Now, this is where it gets fun. This is where it gets interesting. Okay, I'm going to set what I call my picture control here to monochrome or black and white. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn these flashes on. I'm going to go back to 200 ISO. There we go. F14. Here we go. Same thing. All right. That looks good. Looks really good. All right. So this is with the flash, a white light source in black and white. It looks good. Very, I don't know, old-timey looking. Now what are we going to do? This is the fun part. We're going to shut off our radio trigger. You remember how yellow these lights looked when we didn't use flash? Just the tungsten modeling light, rich and yellow, as if they're sitting around a fire, but not a very good looking fire. So the light's very dirty looking to me. And I'm going to do the same thing. F14. Here we go. Crank that ISO up to 2000. Same way as before. And I'm going to shoot this. How about that? No difference. No difference at all. We had the worst looking junky light coming out of these modeling lights. And we have the best light money can buy, these flashes that are high power coming through these grids. In black and white, no difference at all. Black and white doesn't care about the color of light. It doesn't really care about the quality of light in a way. It does to a degree, you know, in terms of whether you're shooting at sunrise, sunset, middle of the day, we get a lot of shadows. But with black and white, it's so much more forgiving. You can shoot black and white at any time of the day, provided you watch your angles and watch your shadows, but it is really a great way to shoot pictures. And it totally changes our world. It totally changes everything about how we perceive the world, if indeed we are not colorblind and can see in color. So black and white here does not care about whether it's this junky modeling light or full-on flash. It's all the same. Same depth of field, same crispness, same quality, just standardized. Standardized. It's a lovely way to shoot. But remember, set your camera to monochrome, so that you're seeing in the review screen, you're seeing your images in black and white as you go along. That way, you know what? you're actually going to be thinking in black and white, which is a totally new and different way of seeing, and it's quite fun. So we had some fun in the studio. That was pretty interesting. Now let's see how black and white does outside. Let's go to an old grove of trees in fairly strong light with really bright colors and see how black and white handles that. You know, super harsh light is a time to celebrate black and white. Why do I say that? Well, for some reason, black and white is a lot more forgiving in tough light, even with shadows. It's more about reflectivity. Obviously, it has nothing to do with color. And we're going to try that now with 4 young ladies in red dresses. Why would you ever shoot black and white with these kind of outfits in a green field? Well, I'm going to show you why. The light's pretty harsh. We've got shadows created by the brow here. We've got shadows under the neck. And when I'm shooting this in color, well, it's harsh. It's harsh. There's good color here, but I'm thinking about the shadows. And I'm also going to think about composition first. If I'm standing here, their heads are slightly below the horizon. If I get down low, we've got a tree limb coming up in their heads. It's going to take a crouching position to put them right in the middle of that blue sky. But I'm not thinking about blue even, because I'm going to black and white. When I shoot black and white, I set my camera on monochrome. You know, the thing is, this is going to shoot a raw file that's color. But I want to see the JPEG on the back of the camera. I want to see that in black and white because I want to start thinking in black and white. It's a different mindset. It really is. I don't know why that is, but it just looks like another world. So here we go. Just look right here at me. We're watching that tree limb in the background. We're at F11 and I'm dialed down 3/4 of a stop on my exposure compensation button. On aperture priority, I love aperture priority. I shoot it all the time. And that because it's faster. It's faster. I'm really watching that background, that limb in the background. I want to put them in the sky. That's fine. That looks good. But we've still got a little shadow, although much more tolerable in black and white. For harsh light, black and white. Hey, that rhymes. That's a good one. For harsh light, think black and white. Okay, now I want to try one other thing. This is a good way to eliminate the shadows quite easily. One other thing, go ahead and keep your eyes shut because it's going to hurt your eyes. Look up into the sun, turn your heads. Oh, the shadows went away except for under their chins, but now their faces are completely illuminated. And I don't mind that look where their eyes are all shut. That's very, very neat. I have to really watch that background, that tree limb in the background. Okay, on 3, I'm going to have you open your eyes briefly. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, close them up. And what do you know? I mean, I can shoot it in color, sure. But when the light's harsh, I'd really prefer not to. If I have to shoot color in harsh light, I really underexpose it. I really try to saturate those colors and let the shadows go very black and do something arty. But maybe I don't have to. Maybe I just switch over to black and white. Now, if you don't have a monochrome setting on your camera, maybe you can do it in post. I try to keep people from sitting in front of a computer and making their pictures good in post-production using whatever program. But in this case, if you don't have a monochrome setting on your camera, you can easily do it using any number of programs and turn your pictures back to black and white. So there you go, black and white when the light is harsh. So why go with black and white? Well, sometimes it just helps you cut to the chase. And that's funny sometimes too. How about kids that are having to hide out in a bathroom during a tornado drill under urinals? It's kind of a weird thing, but humorous to me anyway. Could be a shot of a policeman that's just been sideswiped by a car. That guy that was driving the other car, he's not going to have a very good day. Or maybe it's this. This was an illustration I did years ago on the fear of flying. That's my pharmacist at the time, Bill. And he hated to fly, actually, and we've got him being drug out to an airplane. And what I loved about it is the director of photography at the time was along with me. He said, you know what would really show up well and make this work? He ran and got a piece of charcoal somewhere. We made 2 charcoal lines coming off the heels of his shoes to make it look like he was really being drugged. And that totally made the picture, I thought. So black and white is a great way, not a good way, but a great way of really getting to the essence of a subject and saying what you need to say very, very quickly. You know, I used to look at light a little differently in the middle of the day. I figured harsh light, I'm just gonna take the time off, sleep, I don't know, research. If I was out on assignment, I'd be going on to do something different. Just maybe get ready for the day ahead or the evening. But now I see harsh light is very usable when I'm shooting in black and white. If I'm working in black and white, I realize that even the worst light of the day has value, and it can often be beautiful. So we're just past lunchtime, basically, out here in a farm field in eastern Nebraska, and I've got this old pickup truck sitting out here on a rise in the middle of the cornfield, and it's pretty thoroughly beat up, but there's a lot of beauty here. It's a very interesting truck, and I walked around it and shot it from all angles, and like this angle the best, just because what light I have, even though it's very hot and overhead, it is gracing the truck. It looks pretty good. I think that I can make it look a little better by going inside the cab where it's really old and beat up and the light won't be as harsh. I look in there, it's okay. You know what it needs to me? It needs people that I know and love and appreciate, and so I'm going to add them now and just show you how you might be able to do this too. If you find a good scene, it's like a stage, totally is. Here's the stage, we just need the players to appear. So Esther, would you come on down and hop in the cab there, and we're gonna just get a couple of portraits of you sitting in the cab, okay? If you can get that old door open. You got it? Okay. All right, get your feet in there. And what I love about this, I love the fact that that window is totally broken. Esther, just, I can't really see in there. Get some sun on you. Get your face right there. Look at that. Look at that. Back up a little bit and go into shade. A little bit farther. Okay, so let me try this twice. I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, there's the first one. Can't even see her. Come on forward. There, perfect. Perfect. Nice. Great. Okay, black and white is all about reflectivity and surfaces and shine and tone. It makes harsh shadows acceptable, and that's outstanding. Let's add somebody else in here. Cole, can you come on in too? And just hop up in the bed. Just hop up in the bed there. And I love this kind of thing for family members. Maybe this was the old truck that Grandpa drove or something, and here's the newest generation. I don't know. Cole, try putting a leg up on the edge. Comfy there. All right, let's try a little bit of a wider view. Okay, and there we go. But we're missing something. I'd like somebody up. Ellen, get all the way up on top. We're not going to hurt anything. This old truck's never going to be running down the road again, and I don't think you can dent it. The metal's so thick. Hop on up there. Don't hurt yourself. I'll get him as she's walking. Okay, good. Look at that. Okay, look farmish. All right, good deal. Okay, so I'm going to shoot this. And I tell you what, this looks like it's black and white. It looks like it could have been shot in the 1940s. Black and white has such a timeless quality to it. It really does. But there's one problem. We've got, literally, the farmers planted corn around this vehicle. There's one problem, and that is, and I'm at 400 ISO at about 800th of a second f11, lots of depth of field here. And that's a problem because I can't go downhill anymore. I'll kind of lose the angle I want. I'm right up on a hilltop. I've got all sorts of brush in the background that's really distracting. I could either open this wide open, which would be tough. f2.8 right now, it's so bright out. Even if I go down to the lowest ISO I have. Better yet, let's clean up the background by lowering, by just dropping. Holy cow, problem solved. Plus I get all these corn plants in the foreground. It's kind of fun. There we go. There we go. Very nice. Ellen, just turn your face up into the sun. Cole, try to do that too. Good. It's all about reflectivity and shine and where the light is gracing us. Ellen, give me a big laugh. There you go. Very nice. Everybody smile at me. Smile, smile. There you go. Very nice. Okay, great. So just that simple move, that perspective of being here and seeing all those old trees behind us, very distracting, to getting down low, that's where we need to be. Down low, very clean. Who thinks to shoot in black and white anymore? I do once in a while, and generally when the light's harsh. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful fix for if you're out someplace, this is the time you have to shoot. It's a great thing to do. Very simple. Well, I shot a little bit of black and white stock, some scenarios, some storytelling before the Great Courses film crew arrived, just because I wanted to have a little fun with it, play around with black and white. Again, black and white's a way of getting to the essence of something, and the reflectivity of skin allows us to move back, and they still read very, very well. It's completely different than seeing in color, and there's no nudity. It's just the implication of Adam and Eve in the forest. And the dappled light, middle of the day, it doesn't matter. Black and white can just about handle anything. Love it. Just love it. Let's go to a different scenario. We took Andrew out to a farmhouse with another model, Nikki, and we just tried to play off what's it look like in color, what's it look like in black and white, just to show you guys the two things. So here they are. We've got the Victorian era portrait in the middle. I think it looks better in black and white. I really do. It's a pretty monochromatic scene anyway. The red in her robe is about the only real color there. We did without the robe as well. The red robe I find just to be distracting. So we're into a red negligee. That's toned down some. It allows us to stop thinking about the red and start thinking about the interplay between the two of them. Especially in this scene where I put her against the window. And now in black and white, it's all about his face. Now let's go outside. Let's go outside. So we've got that red. It really stands out. We've got the blue, and we're outside the farmhouse in the country. I don't want it to be about the red robe. I want it to be about their relationship. I want this to look like a drama right out of the 50s or something. And it's good. We've got the old dead tree. We've got some concern here. Is their relationship falling apart? And these guys just met that day, so there is no relationship. But I really like the fact that black and white allows us to get into the emotion of a scene so much quicker than when we're distracted by color. Again, she's pretending to be, I don't know, maybe their marriage is falling apart or something. Black and white, boy, it just reads instantly. Instantly it reads. Same way here. And then we played around with it a little bit more, looking a little longer shot with a lot of green here against the blue sky. Her red robe, the green grass, the green leaves. Watch him pop. Look at that. Just really stands out. We have a little bit more drama, the hand on the head. Color in black and white, to me, it's no comparison. I'd go for black and white if I'm wanting to be dramatic and really make a statement. He's got this little heart-shaped tattoo on his chest. Look at how that pops in black and white versus color. Your eye goes straight to it. To me, this was the kind of the payoff frame for it because of the dappled light, a little bit of glint in his eye, a little bit of light glancing on her face. It just looks like he's studio lit. It looks old-time studio lit. He really stands out. That's the power of black and white. Really is. It cuts to the chase every single time. Another scene here with Andrew looking down at Nikki as she sleeps. And we brought in another model, Hannah, and just tried a few things here. The black and white for me is what works every time. Condolences, some sort of a sad thing going on here. A couple of black and whites, just of Hannah in the bed. So much better in black and white than in color. And to me also so much better when it's straight face rather than smiling. Smile tends to just kind of reveal everything. A serious face to me is so much more mysterious. This is the frame though I really liked, where he's not only blocking light and eliminating flare problems or anything, but he adds depth and dimension. And there's more mystery, there's more drama there, isn't there? A lot more drama there. So speaking of drama, let's say that this little storytelling scene between man and woman in black and white isn't enough for you. Let's go over to the Lincoln Community Playhouse and create some big, epic drama using their giant backgrounds and professional lighting. Here on the stage of the Lincoln Community Playhouse, there's a lot of drama up here. I mean, you think about what goes on this stage. Well, we can do dramatic pictures very simply with a single light and by shifting our camera to black and white. It's just really interesting. It's just old-time movie stuff. So let's see, what can we do? There's the lovely Christine back there. And let's watch what happens when she puts her arms out. There's her shadow. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Let's try this. Okay. All right. It's fine. Watch what happens when she walks out. Walk out a little bit. Watch that shadow. Watch the shadow. I'm going to have her hold hands with her own shadow. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. A little bit farther. A little bit farther. Good. Right there. Right there. Okay. So now she's holding hands with her shadow. All that we did, this might be better if I actually lay down so that we get more of her up against that white screen and less floor. There we go. All she did was walk forward. Let's watch what happens with that shadow when she comes all the way forward. Go ahead, keep coming. Her shadow gets bigger and it moves off stage. That's no good, and she's out of light. So go all the way back, all the way back. Very nice, very nice. Great, perfect. Okay, now, lovely. Now we want to try something with multiple shadows, don't we? Let's bring everybody out on stage one at a time. Let's put Christina back where she goes, all the way back. And we're going to bring my nephew Sam out here. Come on out, Sam. Here you go. Look at that. Here comes his shadow. Awesome. Okay, stop. So now we've got two shadows and Christine. Back up just a little bit, Sam. Back up just a little bit. Perfect. So now we're going to just build shadows with one light. One light on the floor, one strong light on the floor. Here we go. Okay, there's our first one. All right. There we go. Jessica, come on out. 3 shadows. Nice. Kathy, come on out. The key is to not have them in the picture. We're keeping them out. Good. 4 shadows. Nice. And Becca, come on out. We're just going to fill this thing with shadows. Here she goes. Here she goes. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And look at that. So none of them are in there, just their shadows. Lots of fun. But now what do we have them do? I think we have them wave. Everybody, including Christine, wave. Very nice. Isn't that cute? Very simple, very simple. Okay, everybody leave but for Sam and Becca. And do the creep. Look like a creeper. And then look scared. Look plenty scared. Okay. Very nice. Very fun. Becca, get in a little closer. Nice. And Becca, lower your arm like you're really going to grab her. Oh, this is acting at its finest. Look at this. Sam, back up a little bit. Your shadow's crossing in here. Back up a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Let me get a good scream or something, Christine. Oh, nice. That's it. That's it. Perfect. Love it. Okay, so that's a real, thank you, everybody. That's a really easy way to do things. I want to also try a little near-far perspective and silhouette. So hold on a second. One other thing I think about when I think about black and white is I think about silhouettes. It's either shadows or silhouettes for me with black and white. I like to do portraits in black and white too, but for this, we're just going to try a quick little simple silhouette arrangement with a visual payoff at the end. That's my little nephew Sam. He's lit, but the ladies here, they're all in silhouette going down the road. It's kind of like a canyon effect, and it's a near-far perspective opportunity as well. We've got Christine up close, and we've got Jessica all the way in the back, and people staggered all the way through. And I like to have a lot of depth of field for something like this. So they're not moving. I'm at 2500 ISO, an f22, and a 1/6 of a second. Got my tripod, got my cable release. I've lined everybody up pretty carefully so that they work all the way back. And it's just kind of a nice effect. It really is. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Before this, I did something where it took a little bit longer. We just did human forms, body forms moving around. And that was even more interesting to me. So what can you do in black and white? Well, just about anything you can do in color, really. Again, I like to work with my panel on the back, the screen, set to monochrome so I can see how it's looking and I'm not distracted by color. That's very important to me personally. Although you could shoot in color all the time and then just bring it back to monochrome in post-processing. But you know me, I don't want to do much in post-processing. I want to have my fun and do my corrections while I'm in the field whenever possible. Well, let's critique this then. Lots of choices down there at the Playhouse. We've got 3 lights here on Christine, and you can see 3 shadows, and that doesn't make any sense. And so we got to simplify first. I start simple and I build up. Okay, one light, one big shadow, arms out, reads easy. It's a woman and it's a white wall and one light and that's it. Now if we want a little bit more emotion, she puts her hands forward. Okay, that's fine, but you lose that outstretched arm in the shadow back there. I might want it out fully. That really affects the shadow in the background. Okay, so we introduce my nephew Sam, and he's throwing a big shadow there. Let's introduce another person. Let's introduce another person. Wow, we've got one subject and 5 shadows. Kind of interesting. So what else can we do? Well, I don't know. Let's play around with it a little bit. We have Sam in the shadow. And I think we want him lit up. Let's move him back. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Waving looks kind of cheesy, but it gets us more things up into the air. Still missing having something up above. He's looking up into the light a little bit better there. A lot of dead space in that frame though. Let's try setting him back, putting him in a line again and throwing those shadows out again where she's waving into everybody else's shadows. Maybe less cheesy. A little bit more subdued there, a little less harsh. Angle's a little different. Maybe. She really stands out well there. There she's up against a shadow. I don't think that works as well. It's not quite as clean. We're goofing around now. Boxing, pretending to box, shadow box, if you will. Scary people grabbing at her and she's faking being scared. Maybe. I think there's more we can do. When we start doing these figures moving around in full silhouette with him back there lit, there's something nagging at me the whole time I was shooting. And it's that the bottom half of the frame, not half, but the bottom full third is dark. And this could really be a lot better. So I start cheating it upward, getting higher and higher and higher. That's really what I wanted to get at. I kept thinking, I need to go up where the light is. I know the temptation is to shoot all the way to the floor, but we're talking about silhouettes. Really, the only person we need to make sure we have their feet on is Sam, the kid in the back. You can't crop his feet out, but I think we could crop other people's feet out. So I keep playing with that, working towards it, getting closer, getting closer. Kathy's arms go way up into the frame just to get us something up into that part of the frame. We move Sam forward. It's all a process, and I'm just winging it, just trying to see what feels right. And at the time I'm shooting at you guys, I don't even know why I think it feels right. I just think, okay, we're getting there. This feels better. More of the frame is taken. I'm not wasting my time with a lot of dark space. It's a big mistake a lot of people think about, don't think about, is everything in the frame working for them? No dead space unless it's intentional, unless you want it, not because you just didn't think about it. Now we're talking. We're in close. This is better, isn't it? We're in close. We're to the bottom where Sam's feet are. We've got good, strong silhouettes here. And maybe this is a little bit better, but I liked Christine really bent in. I like the arms up into the sky. These poses are good. Maybe it's something like that. That's where I ended up landing. I had Sam's face up into the light, but it was, I don't know, I like the mystery about him. He carries a bit of a silhouette too with his face down from the light. The figures are all good. This could stand to be cropped in a little bit, I think, off the right side and down from the top. Make it a little bit tighter. I don't even like cropping my pictures that much just because I want to shoot it right in the camera. It's not that I'm some prima donna. I just want to get it right in the camera so I don't have to crop. Cropping takes time even. So this is probably where I'd end up, I think. Real good figures here, at least good for what we're doing. Sam looks fine. I'm not seeing his face with a smile on it because he thought the whole thing was quite humorous. And so that kind of gives away some of the mystery. And I think for what we're doing here, that's good. That'll work. That gets it done. So to kind of sum up black and white, you know what I'm going to say. It's mysterious. It adds drama. And it's a completely new way of seeing the entire planet. It works in jungles. It works in cities. It works in every light imaginable. And it is something you should do. Try it. You will like it.